Fidelity Brokerage Services, member NYSE, SIPC.
This story may make you itch a bit. Philadelphia transit officials are reassuring riders after a viral video revealed bed bugs running rampant on a bus seat. One bus driver says news of that video is disturbing.
It's creepy. It's nasty. It makes me itch.
Southeastern Pennsylvania Transit Authority says it's addressing the problem. Assistant General Manager Ron Hopkins says SEPTA has a program to combat those bed bugs.
We have special treatments once a quarter for our buses where we come out and we apply, the contractor applies material specifically designed to treat or prevent bed bugs.
The company says it's pulled the bus in the video out of service and is replacing upholstered bus seats with plastic. It looks like Nike's move to center its commercial around Colin Kaepernick hasn't hurt the shoemaker's bottom line so far. Instead, there's a reported boost in online sales.
Believe in something.
When Nike launched the ad you love or you hate, some people in the hate camp posted videos of themselves setting their own shoes on fire.
Not only am I burning my favorite pair of Nikes, you are burning your sales.
Turns out that guy was right. In a way, from Sunday through Tuesday of Labor Day weekend, Nike's online sales caught fire, growing 31%, much better than last year's seasonal increase of 17%. According to sales tracker Edison Trends, Nike did lose some business, though. College of the Ozarks announced it's getting rid of any uniforms featuring the swoosh. Scott Goldberg, ABC News.
This is ABC News.
A good night's sleep starts with the right pillow. That's where MyPillow comes in, and we're excited to announce the new 4-pack special. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the 4-pack special tab, and save 50% off the 4-pack, which includes 2 MyPillow premiums and 2 Go Anywhere pillows. Use promo code SKY at checkout or call 1-800-635-1825. That's 1-800-635-1825. Or go to MyPillow.com, click the 4-pack special tab, and use promo code SKY at checkout.
I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
The views and opinions expressed by the host and callers of this program are not necessarily the views of Genesis Communications, its management, or its sponsors.
Genesis Communications presents the show that's helping people see better and feel better all over Florida. It's Ask the Doctor with board-certified optometric physician, certified nutritional specialist, and popular radio host, Dr. Michael Lange of Lange Eye Care and Associates.
Doctor, my eyes, they cannot see the sky. Is this the price for having learned how not to?
Okay, good morning, and welcome to Ask the Doctor. I'm your host, as usual, Dr. Michael P. Lange, P for Paul, here each and every Saturday morning live to answer any and all questions you may have regarding your vision and eye care. So take advantage of this hour, pick up the phones, and give me a call. You know, I love being live on this show, but I'm missing racing in New Orleans today. Most of you thought we were going to have a tape today, but this is Saturday, September 8th, 2018, so we're live. I'm sure Bob and Steve and those guys weren't even prepared for a question today. But I am live. You can give me a call, 727-586-2820. So any of our radio stations that were coming in loud and clear through Florida, throughout the country, once again, 727-586-2820. And you can check me out on Facebook, Dr. Michael Lange Facebook. You can check me out on Fortifeye Facebook, Lange Nutrition Center Facebook, a lot of different Facebooks. But you can also go to News Talk Florida Facebook, and we're live video on all those Facebook pages right now. Sporting a new Lange Racing shirt that we had made for the race. I had a big tent made for the race, a lot of stuff for the pit crew, and now we can't be there. But like I said, I love being live on this program. And the reason being, you know, I got to tell you, we take life for granted. You know that when you think about it, we really do. We take life for granted. And, you know, my dad made a turn for the worse a week or so ago, and he got even worse. So I ended up going down to the assisted independent living facility and pulled him out 2 days ago, even though it's paid for like 90 days. I actually think he was dehydrated. I think he was only getting 2 glasses of lemonade a day. They thought maybe he had a stroke. He hadn't had a stroke, so I brought him home, put 2 medical beds for mom and dad into the dining room, a cool little medical chair, put a little porta toilet, a special toilet right by the bed so he didn't have to get and cruise the house at night. And I got to tell you, in 48 hours, he's a totally different person. He's regaining strength. He's got color. He's cognitively doing quite well. He can talk now. He didn't have a stroke. He was dehydrated. I mean, 2 glasses of lemonade a day at 200 pounds, you go down pretty fast. So we're going to talk about some things in a few minutes. I'm going to need your guys' help. I got to find out where I can get a wheelchair ramp, also a hoist to lower him in the pool. I think the pool would be great for him. And then showers. I got to figure out how I'm going to give him a shower. He can't go upstairs where the showers are. I don't want to put him in the wheelchair and hose him down in the front yard. But you never know. All right, that's enough of me. Phone lines are open, 727-586-2820. We're going to be having a big fall festival. Everybody is invited at the Lange Eye Institute in the Villages on October 20th. It's going to be called Race Day. We always have some sort of theme. And I'm going to bring a couple of my race Vipers and some other race car buddies of mine are going to bring their race cars out. We might have some celebrity race car drivers, too, bringing some of their cars. Who knows? So if you got a really cool car, you can bring it. We'll have like a little car show set up in the parking lot at the Lange Eye Institute. That's on October 20th. That's the 12th annual Fall Festival. We usually have a big crowd. We're going to have food and drinks and music and a lot of giveaways, huge discounts on optical, huge discounts on Fortifeye vitamins. All of these things are going to be available. We're going to have a frame trunk show, so a lot of the frame vendors with their latest really cool frames are going to be there. We're going to be giving away Ray-Bans and Costa Mara, Maui Jim sunglasses, all sorts of designer sunglasses and designer frames as well. So come on out October 20th, Race Day at the Lange Eye Institute. That's in the Villages, right on the corner of 466 and County Road 101, next to CVS across the street from Publix. It looks like a big plantation. You can't miss it. Also, you're more than welcome to set up an appointment to see me anytime or any of our great doctors, Dr. Lori Caputi, Dr. Yeti Exposito, Dr. Michael Tolentino, world-round retina specialist, is inside the Lange Eye Institute downstairs with us. And we're going to be building out a specialty retina center, research center for Dr. Tolentino and the retina group there upstairs in the very near future. It's going to be exciting. Going to have a state-of-the-art facility for retinal research inside the Lange Eye Institute. All right, we're going to the phones. Jake, I'm in Ocala. Thanks for holding. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm hanging in there.
Fantastic.
What can I do for you?
Before my PRK 2 years ago, I've never had dry eyes, and my surgeon, fantastic guy, said that I would likely get like a dry eye syndrome after the PRK surgery. That did happen, and he suggested TheraTears nutrition to help remedy that.
Right.
I don't see that helping. Again, this was 2 years ago. I've been on and off again with the TheraTears. Never really seen much of a difference. I was curious on your take on TheraTears and if there's anything that you see that you know of that I would be able to use to get rid of that dry eyes, especially throughout the night.
Absolutely. Great question. Yeah, I used to know the owner of that invented TheraTears, the MD that invented it quite well, and he was killed in a bicycle accident. And he had a fairly good product in its time, all right? The TheraTears artificial tears are still one of the best over-the-counter lubricants you can buy. And their supplement is, a relatively mild dosage of omega-3. And the problem is it used to be an ethyl ester molecule, okay? That means it has ethanol attached to the backbone. But I heard rumors that they were going to change it to the triglyceride form, which I don't know if that ever happened. I don't know if you know if it is or not, but triglyceride form omega-3 absorbs much more readily and it works more. It works better, but I think that's a decent one for something you buy over the counter, right? I'm not going to knock it. I think it's decent, all right? Now, and this is what I deal with on a daily basis. I used to own 3 LASIK centers, so we did a lot of PRK and a lot of LASIK surgery. And when I developed the Fortifeye Super Omega, which I'm holding up in my hand if you're watching on the video, I developed it so we had something we could pre-medicate our LASIK and PRK patients 3 weeks before we did a procedure on them. And our dry eye rate dropped significantly at 2 per day dosing. But then I wanted to prove to myself mainly and to the world that it truly worked, okay? So we did omega index blood tests with our Fortifeye Super Omega, and we did about 200 patients, all right? And we found that every single patient that weighed less than 250 pounds at 2 per day dosing brought their omega index between 9.2 and 11.2%. And a therapeutic level is only over 8%. So we started using this to pre-medicate our patients prior to LASIK surgery or PRK. And like I said, dry eye rate dropped significantly. This was 10 years ago. I've refined it a couple of times since, and we use it for all of our dry eye patients. So there's a combination of things you need to do. Number one, I would highly recommend Fortifeye Super Omega 2 per day. I would clean your lids at bedtime. That gets rid of the bacteria that blocks the glands. I would use a hot compress 2 times a day or even 3 times a day with a little massage on your lid margins. That opens up the meibomian glands so you secrete a healthier tear film. And I would use a good unpreserved lubricating eye drop that has hyaluronic acid in it. There's only 2 on the market. One's called Oasis Tears Plus, and one's called Blink Tears. The problem with Blink is you got to buy the preservative-free version in the individual vials. The ones they sell over the counter are made in China, and they have preservatives in it. So not just to promote a product on our website, but it's simple if you go to fortifeye.com or go to, if you live in Ocala, Fortifeye Vitamins on 17th Street next to Wood U. We sell both Oasis Tears and Blink Tears there. Those work very well for the dry eye. So we clean them, we heat them, we lubricate them, and we nutrify them with the omega-3. Now, let's say hypothetically you've been doing all of that. There's a 3-pronged approach for nutrition for dry eye that works quite well. Soon you'll be able to buy a little box that has it all in it. It's going to be called Fortifeye Dry Eye Therapy. And what it is, it's going to be 2 Fortifeye Super Omegas, 1 Fortifeye Focus that is in my hand now, and then one that I did not develop is called black currant seed oil. And the one I use is cardiovascular research because it has GLA in it. So the combination of those 3 is the most effective natural nutrient composition to improve dry eye, and sometimes it works dramatically. We want a natural approach. You don't want to have to use a medication that costs $200, $300, even $400 to help your dry eye that may do nothing at all. So in a nutshell, I hope you took some notes, but that will help, and then keep me posted.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
All right. Take care. And a lot of people do have dry eye after refractive surgery. And, you know, I got to tell people this. I'm actually, well, I was a moderator on the biggest dry eye bitch session in the world called the Dry Eye Zone. And you can still see my response to thousands of people. We had to stop the moderation because I was getting 200, 300 like questions a day. So I answered as many, and then finally we put it on hold. But that's the Dry Eye Zone. And basically people from all over the world would come to that site complaining how dry their eyes were after refractive laser surgery like LASIK or PRK. And, you know, when you do a little history on it, they shouldn't have had it to begin with, because their main reason to going to refractive surgery was to get rid of contacts because they couldn't wear their contacts. They were uncomfortable. Well, because their eyes were too dry. Remember, if your eye is just a little dry before LASIK surgery or PRK, they're going to be 10 times drier afterwards, and you can be quite miserable. So don't have refractive laser surgery if your eyes are at all dry. It's as simple as that until you get your dry eye under control. Also, if you go to fortifeye.com, Fortifeye, Fortifeye, remember I'm an eye doctor, that's why it's Fortifeye, EYE. There is a section under products, Dry Eye Extreme. We have super dry eye kits, dry eye extreme kits. You can see I've discounted these hugely, and the super dry eye kit has everything in it. It even has the brooder mask. It has the lubricants, all the nutrients, and it's not a very expensive price. And I always say try it for 3 to 4 months first. But another thing you'll notice when we're treating your dry eyes, we're also treating the joints, believe it or not, and your skin. Things that are good for dry eye are amazing for your skin health and amazing for joint health. My knee, you know, from racing competitive motocross, I broke my right leg in 5 places, my neck and my back, you know, qualifying in the Supercross series. And I've got some degenerative arthritis in my knee. It was painful. When I started taking my prototype for the dry eye therapy, that's Fortifeye Super Omega, black currant seed oil, and Fortifeye Focus, after about 6 weeks, I can actually run up and down steps again I haven't been able to do that in 5 years. So that's because of the inflammation in my joints. It helps that. My eye hasn't been dry. I haven't been taking it for dry. I've been taking it for heart health, skin health, and joint health. All right, let's go back to the phones. I think Steve's been waiting patiently and maybe has some good feedback here.
Well, yes, I do. Well, I don't know if it's good or not, but that's for you to tell me. But anyway, one thing about the omega is, have you ever wondered why the fish has so much of it?
Those are things I always go,
Well, the reason that they do is because they're cold-blooded animals. They're whatever temperature. And you know how fats have a solidification temperature. In other words, something like Crisco will solidify when it's like 40 degrees, but like omegas will only solidify when they're like much lower.
Right.
Okay? If that fish swimming in cold water, his body would literally turn into a board if he didn't have the omegas to lower the solidification temperature of his body. Do you follow what I'm saying?
Right. Cold water fish, yes.
Now the same, because if he was in there in that cold 50 degree, 40 degree water, his body would become very stiff because the fats would solidify.
So that's why the cold water fish have much higher omega-3 than the warm water fish.
Right. That's because it protects them against the cold. It's kind of like antifreeze in the car.
Wow.
Okay.
Cool.
Now, here's the thing. What does that have to do with humans, which I have a hard time getting to sometimes? What it does is it makes the fluids and the lipids more soluble to cross cell membranes so that you get a more even flow. It lowers the viscosity of the fluids and the synovial fluid. And it's a wonderful thing to do. And one thing I wanted to say about your dad being dehydrated, I have seen this so many damn times.
Right.
Where people look, they do these metabolic panels. Where in the hell does that, what on these metabolic panels, where does it say if you're dehydrated? You know, they never test you for I don't know how they test you. I guess you could look at specific gravity of the urine.
Well,
you could look at the hematocrit and stuff.
Certainly. The first thing I noticed when he did go to the bathroom and then he flushed the toilet, I mean, it was amazingly yellow, dark brown yellow. And he wasn't taking any B complex. He wasn't taking any vitamins at that time because he was too forgetful to take the Fortifeye vitamins. So, it was so interesting because they were highly recommending, you got to get him to the emergency room right now. I left work early. I mean, I left patients at 1 o'clock. I walked out into the waiting room. This was on Thursday. And I said, look, I mean, most of those patients have been seeing me for years. I said, I've canceled twice in my entire life. I walked out and said, look, I'm having some issues with my dad. I got to get out of here. I'm sorry. I apologize. And they all told me to leave. So nobody was upset about it. And I got there. I mean, I went pretty quickly. I got there in about an hour from the Villages and to Tampa Bay. He was cognitively impaired, mumbling. He couldn't even understand anything. And I thought he had a stroke too. But he was able to say, he's a retired physician. He was able to tell me, don't send me to the emergency room. Basically, I hadn't had a stroke. It's something else. I haven't had a stroke, but don't send me to the emergency room. I'll die there. And, that's when I took a bull by the horns, and my wife and I loaded him up and brought him home and started feeding him and, giving him some berries and some spring water and letting him sip on that throughout the day. And literally within 12 hours, he's better. 24 hours, he's much better. This morning, I mean, he was bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and it's amazing, the difference. Exactly. And I'm not knocking I am kind of knocking the place he was at. See, what I think happened is they forget to go to breakfast in the morning because they sleep late. These breakfasts are so early in these places. And then so they only had lunch and supper, and then he's just drinking 1 glass of lemonade at lunch and supper. So that's all he's having the whole day.
Well, the high sugar, if you take something with high sugar and you have it in your stomach, okay, it's just like salt. It changes, it's hypertonic because of the sugar. That's why ice cream melts so fast, because all the sugar in it. It becomes hypertonic and literally pulls water out of your body into the stomach. I think it's probably one of the biggest medical problems in older people there is.
Well, when you think about it, I mean, I've quizzed my patients many times in the morning, and they have dry eye, and they say, what did you have for breakfast this morning? 2 cups of coffee and a piece of toast, all right? And then what do you have at dinner? And at dinner, they're having, all sorts of carbohydrates, more sugar and pumpkin pie, pecan pie. And then they're having 2 cocktails, 2 glasses of wine or 2 whiskey sours or whatever it may be. And so the 2 alcoholic beverages, 2 coffees are acting as a diuresis. And then you're supposed to drink 3 cups to offset that. So they got to drink 9 cups of water just to get back to equilibrium, and then half their body weight in ounces of water. So the lion's share of the public out there is actually dehydrated to begin with.
Yeah, and like I said, remember when I called about is osmotic versus volemic thirst?
Right.
You're like your thirst starts in that's the first thing to go. It starts going in your teens. And that shocks people, but
you're not thirsty. That's right.
No,
and so they don't drink.
fact,
you have to actually force yourself to drink good water, not the tap water, not the reverse osmosis, not the distilled. Drink good spring water, or make your water good by, mineralizing it, putting some fruits and stuff in, a little pink sea salt, and making it good water. But yeah, if anybody learns anything from the show, you should drink more water. And for the first caller about the dry eye after PRK, go buy some good spring water, Fiji or Avion or something like that, and drink it throughout the day. That's going to help your dry eyes.
Yeah, and it's the dry eyes. My uncle used to he was an optometric physician too, and he noticed that there seemed to be a lot more of it as he practiced over 40 years. That very few people had it 40 years ago, and now a lot more people do. And he never figured out why it became much more common. And for some reason. Okay, well, I'll let you go. I've used my time and more, so you have a great day.
Take care. Bye-bye. All right, you're listening to Ask the Doctor. We're getting ready to take a few more calls here. If you got a question, give me a call, 727-586-2820, 727-586-2820. Let's go back to the phones. Natalie in Sarasota, thanks for holding. Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Lange. I listened to your program last week, and I was interested in trying to find those reader glasses you were talking about when you were talking about the blue light defense glasses. I could not find them on either the bluelightdefense.com site or the fortifeye.com site.
Okay, so
I also didn't find the Blue 40 promo code on either site.
I'm glad you mentioned that code, because I was trying to figure out what that code was. I couldn't find my notes from last week. They're in a different car. So Blue 40, okay, that's the code. So what you have to do, if you go to fortifeye.com, all right, and you go to one of the, or bluelightdefense.com, go order a pair of glasses and just pick the frame that you like, okay? And then order it as if you're just ordering the way they have it with no prescription in it, okay? Then what you would do is under the notes section, there's a notes section, all right?
That's where I couldn't find the notes section. Do you mean you actually have to put something in your cart to find the notes section?
Right. So go in like you're buying it, and then at checkout, all right, there's a little notes section along the way, all right? And then type in there, I want +2, I want +1, I want +150. Whatever the power is you want, and you'll get it for the same price that Plano is right now. That's a special we're running. And then if you try it and you just can't do it, then call Mandy on Monday at Fortifeye Vitamins. Just talk to her directly, say you want to use the 40% off code, and this is the prescription that you want. I mean, we can do it in prescriptions, but when we have to have a prescription, if it's just readers, we don't need the prescription. You can just tell us what it is, okay?
Okay.
And so let me, do you have the phone? I'll give you the phone number just for our listeners for Fortifeye Vitamins. It's 866-503-9746. That's 866-503-9746. But try going through first at fortifeye.com and doing that and typing in the notes, and then put the you got to put the promo code in at checkout. You got to go through the whole thing. Put your credit card in, it'll go through. If something screws up, just call Mandy and on Monday morning, and we'll take care of it.
All right. Another question. As I say, I need the readers when I'm on the computer. When I watch television, I don't need any sort of glasses, but are you suggesting that I should wear blue light defense glasses even when I'm watching television?
In a perfect world, yes. I mean, if you have enough money, I mean, if you're economically deprived, no, all right? But in a perfect world, yes. I do that. I have a pair made that have no prescription in it at all right? Then I have one with prescriptions as well because I'm a little bit nearsighted. So when I'm on the computer, I don't need glasses. But when I'm watching TV, it's just the opposite. I just have a minus 0.75. And so I got to tell you, the television doesn't emit as much of the harmful blue light. Well, it emits about the same, but it doesn't go into your eye. The closer you are. Now, if you sit close to the TV, it's bad. But you sit close to the TV, the iPad, the iPhone, those are the ones that can be potentially very harmful to your retina. But then we have LED lighting, we have fluorescent lighting, the sunshine. I mean, all of that has blue light, and the most harmful ray is 411 nanometers. Blue light defense blocks 99% of that. There's lots of them on the market that don't block hardly any of 411 nanometers, but they block more of 430 to 440. And that's not as important to block that. That is not as damaging to the retina. And remember, a lot of those are either orange color, brown or yellow color, and that actually blocks some of the transmission of light, causing the image to be desaturated and not seeing as well. So that's why blue light defense and blue light shield is another one, is so good, because they're almost 100% clear, and they block the most harmful rays of light.
And one other question. I do take your Fortifeye Focus that has the blue light defense.
Right.
But I should still wear these glasses.
I would do, yes, ma'am. In a perfect world, yes. If you want to be as proactive as you can at prevention, remember, this isn't only protecting your retina and the lens in your eye, it's helping your pineal gland in the brain to secrete more melatonin in the evening hours when you're supposed to be getting ready for bed. And remember, if you sleep well, then cortisol levels go down, inflammation in your body goes down, you feel better if you sleep well. And there is some studies now, and we're linked to those studies at bluelightdefense.com, some of them are out of Harvard, that suggest that low melatonin levels actually increases your risk of all types of cancers. So when you think about it, if we're helping melatonin levels not drop, right, keeping them fairly elevated and going up in the evening, we're practicing anti-aging, decreasing our chance possibly of cancer and certainly eye diseases and other health issues.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Dr. Lange. I appreciate it.
All right. You take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, we always have a lot of great calls. You're listening to Ask the Doctor. If you're new to the program, who's Dr. Lange? Well, I'm a board-certified optometric physician. I'm also a certified nutritional specialist. I founded Lange Eye Care and Associates March 15th of 1993. We opened 13 locations in the state of Florida, from Gainesville all the way to Tampa, Clearwater, the Villages, Williston, University of Florida, multiple offices in Ocala, Inverness, Crystal River, and a big corporation tried to buy me out 100%. I didn't let him do that. I did. I got a little greedy, I guess. I let him buy all of my offices except one, the Lange Eye Institute. And I bet they wish that they would have bought that one too, because all of my patients, you guys are really great. I won't say all of you, but a good percentage have followed me to the Lange Eye Institute. So thank you for that. So the Lange Eye Institute is located in the Villages, the dead center of Florida, Golf Cart Central, the fastest growing population in the entire country. They're building 500 homes a month there right now. It's an amazing place. Everybody retires in the Villages. We're right in the middle on the corner of 466 and County Road 101. I'm going to give you the number to the Lange Eye Institute. Give us a call if you'd like to set up an appointment, a second opinion. You're interested in natural ways to help your eyes, plus medical and surgical, and certainly optical. You can call 352-753-4014. That's 352-753-4014. I got to tell you, I really pride myself in staying up with the latest advancements. The Lange Eye Institute is one of the only centers in the state of Florida. I think there's 4 in Florida that has the Anitas RHA. And this is a pretty cool piece of equipment. It's almost like an MRI of your eye. It goes through all the different layers of the eye. It does something called autofluorescence. It does a pseudo-angiogram, non-invasive type of angiogram. It lets us detect diseases in the earliest stages, macular degeneration years before we can even see it. We can detect lipofuscin, a metabolic waste product, even some of the first signs of Alzheimer's, believe it or not, with this type of equipment. And then we have all the rest of the equipment, digital photography, OCT technology, visual field and ultrasound and fluorescein angiograms and lasers. We have all of that, but the Anitas RHA is something that is really cool. It isn't covered by insurance. It's like $40 to do it, but it's well worth it. Remember, the key is early detection. Also, it helps us pick up melanoma early. So melanoma can hide in the eye, and by the time your dermatologist sees it on your thigh or your back, it may have metastasized from the eye to that area, and nobody ever looked in the eye for it. Well, the Anidis RHA can pick up melanoma oftentimes way before your ophthalmologist or optometrist can pick it up through a dilated eye exam. All right, open up the phones, 727-586-2820. You're listening to Ask the Doctor. Remember, you can follow me on social media. My Instagram was hijacked. I had 150,000 followers that I worked on for, 5 years. And somebody hijacked it out of Russia and put their different name on it, got all my followers. So now I have a new Instagram site. I think I'm up to 4,000 followers. So Instagram, just Dr. Michael Lange with _ Dr. Michael Lange _ Instagram. You can follow me there. You can follow me on Twitter, Google+, LinkedIn, Facebook, and certainly website, drmichaellange.com, langeeyecare.com, or fortifeye.com. Check out paleosimplified.com. Pretty cool site. We're coming out with a new Paleo Simplified Praline Crunch. I am from New Orleans. I love pralines. So I wanted something that tasted good, that was very low sugar, very low carbohydrates, paleo, organic, gluten-free, no oats, oat-free. So it's similar to our honey nut fruit crunch that we have. That's very popular. You can buy on Amazon or most stores now. But the praline crunch will be out, I hope, in a month. Also, we're working on some new paleo bars, paleo simplified, high protein bars, chocolate, peanut butter one that's going to be super high protein. You can use pre-workout and post-workout. It's going to be convenient, or it can be a meal replacement. Let's go to the phones. I think maybe it's Marion. Marion in Seminole, thanks for holding. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. What I'm calling about is spring water. You advocate drinking spring water.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way you can get spring water is in a plastic bottle. And my doctor is really frowning upon me drinking water from a plastic bottle.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so they do make it in glass bottles, all right? You can go to the store, just about any of the stores now. I mean, certainly Fresh Market, Whole Foods, even Publix has spring water in glass bottles. But I got to tell you, most of the bottles now, all right, are BPA free. That means they're bisphenol free. Now, just 3 years ago, most of the plastic bottles had bisphenols in it, which would leach into your body and cause problems. And most of the time, because when you cool it or heat it is when it leaches it in. That's why I always say plastic bottles, drink it at room temperature, all right? So if you're really concerned about it, then go ahead and get the glass bottles, and that's safe. And I used to do that all the time. I mean, there's a lot of different companies that haven't glass bottles. It used to just got to be heavy and inconvenient. And so, like I said, most of those bottles are bisphenol free. That's what you had to worry about. But otherwise, there's no other option when you think about it, unless you go to the source and you're drinking water right out of the spring.
I know.
Because if you drink it out of the faucet, depending on where you live, you got chlorine and you got fluoride in it, and you got heavy metals in it. Those are all poisons. And if you have a reverse osmosis system, then it's leaching all of the minerals out. It makes it very pure. So in theory, you could have an RO system, a reverse osmosis system, to pull all the impurities out and the chemicals, all right, and then store it in a glass container, all right, and then remineralize it, put some pink sea salt in it, chop up some fruits and berries and throw it in there, let it sit for a few hours, and you could actually check the pH to see if it becomes alkaline. Then you could drink it. But remember, reverse osmosis is stored in a plastic container under your sink. So you have to get them to store it in a stainless steel or a glass container, because I don't know if that plastic container has BPAs in it, okay?
But now I know the glass bottles from what I can find in the store, it only comes in it doesn't come in a gallon size. It comes in a quart size, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, the ones I know are Arkansas, Ozark Mountain Water, and then also Voss, VOSS. Both of those come in glass containers, fairly large glass containers. Not small ones, though.
because Mountain Spring, I think, was the one, Mountain something was the other glass.
Right, Ozark Mountain. That's from Arkansas. Right. That's a good water. Yeah, I've checked the pH on that and done some research and got them to send me the COA, like it's kind of like the certificate of analysis, basically, of that water. That's the water I used to drink all the time, and then it just I got lazy, and I got to tell you, I've been just buying whatever's on sale that says spring water on it.
In a plastic bottle.
I've been doing plastic bottles, but they don't go in the refrigerator. They sit at room temperature.
Right, that's what I do too. But she's saying that you don't know how long they've been on the truck and where they've been and blah blah blah.
Well, that's true. But ask your doctor what kind of water is she drinking. I mean, how is she drinking it then?
She's filtering water, but I don't know how she filters it.
Yeah, so that's a problem because, all the pipes, so you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, okay? Because the piping that you have is going to be PCP piping, or worse yet, it's going to be copper piping, all right? And so the copper pipes have copper heavy metals, cause neurodegeneration and Alzheimer's, and that's why you never want to put it on hot if you have copper pipes and drink that water. And then the PCP plastic, a lot of that has some bad stuff in it too. So I think to be honest with you, you're safer with the plastic bottles that are on sale as long as you don't, heat them or freeze them. I think you're safer than the tap water.
So that's Zephyr Hills.
Yeah, Zephyr Hills is fine. I've looked at their COA and I've checked their pH. I drink that because sometimes they run some amazing deals. Every now and then I've seen Publix. I don't know if they do it anymore. Where $10 for 10 cases.
Right, and the one that I use, I call it a round tub looking kind of.
Yeah.
Pardon me?
What was that?
It looks like a round tub. Plastic bottle of the Zephyr Hills spring water.
Yeah, I think you're okay with that. I don't love where it comes from. It comes near some polluted lakes, but I've tested the water and I've checked the water and looked at their COA, and I think it's as good as it's going to get. I think you're safe with that.
Okay, that was kind of on my mind.
Yeah, you just got to ask your doctor next time you see her, well, what kind of water, doctor, do you drink? And then she says out the faucet, but I put a filter on it. And then you can start saying, well, I bet you anything, if I check what's coming out of your tap with that filter, it's worse than what's in that spring water. Remember, you just got to mineralize it. So I think if you had reverse osmosis and you remineralize it and you store it in a glass container, I think you're relatively safe. You can get reverse osmosis that has storage containers now that are stainless steel or glass storage containers underneath your sink instead of those plastic ones. But if they're plastic, make sure they're BPA. But then it's kind of a pain. Now, you can put an inline remineralizer back in place. But then again, I did that once, and I don't know what's in it. I don't know what kind of chemical they're putting in my water. How often do you change that? Then you have to check the pH all the time. So I like what's natural. So what I did when in my Ocala home, I'd fill up these big glass containers with reverse osmosis water. I put a couple of tablespoons of pink sea salt. I chop up some organic blueberries and some blackberries and maybe an orange and throw it in there. And then every 2 hours, I'd check the pH. And when it got to neutral, then it was safe to drink. And then I drink that for 2 days. I wouldn't leave it in long. It starts to ferment, and then no telling what happens to it. So, that's kind of a pain, but, you only live once, and you want to be as healthy as you can.
What about that Berkey filter?
I don't know enough about it. I really don't. Most of those filters are fairly decent at reducing the chlorine and the fluoride content and some of the smells and also some of the potential parasites and things that are in water. So, those filters are better than nothing, okay?
So the Zephyr Hills, you think there's my lead and my mercury have been elevated, and the lead, I was just wondering if it's coming from the water.
That's a good question. That's a real good question. You don't eat a lot of canned foods, do you?
I don't.
Good.
Yeah. I do some, and probably more than I should, but
yeah, go all natural. Just eat the stuff that hangs out in the corners, on the outskirts of the grocery stores. That's where you shop.
Well, I do, but the canned things, like maybe once or twice a week, an organic canned soup I would do.
Yeah, you're fine. If you really want to be paranoid about it, you can get now cans that have BPA-free linings because
I
most
do.
of
I buy those
Good.
ones I buy.
Good. You're doing everything you can. I mean, you can't worry too much because the worrying is going to create more problems than the other stuff.
I know. Thank you for your time.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
We get a lot of great listeners. You know, this show is all about trying to help people stay healthier. It's not about your vision only. I am an eye doctor. But I learned a long time ago, if I make your eyes healthier, I'm making your entire body healthier. If I make your body healthier, I'm making your eyes healthier. And, you know, that's why I created the Lange diet. If you're bored one day and you're a little overweight, you want to lose weight safely and quickly, Google Lange diet or Lange diet plan. I've got a step-by-step meal plan for a whole week. Tells you exactly what to drink first thing in the morning, when to eat, drink, what to have for breakfast, what to have for a snack, what to have for lunch, what to have for snack, what to have for supper, what supplements to take. And, you know, I've been doing this since, 1993, quite a while, and I know what works and what doesn't work. And the Lange diet plan, the average person that follows it, now remember, the Lange diet plan, so it's a plan, not just not the food. You got to go out in the sun for 20 minutes a day, and you got to get 20 minutes of cardiovascular exercise 5 times a week. So the combination of this with the foods that are in there, my average patient loses 6 pounds a week. All right. And this diet is not an Atkins diet. It's not a low carb diet. It's not a high protein diet. It's not a diet that's going to put you in ketosis, which is very dangerous. I repeat, there's a lot of multi-level companies out there making a boatload of money off of you, saying this is the best diet in the world, and it's not that healthy a diet. So you got to have carbohydrates. You do. You have to have some carbohydrates in your system. So an example is an egg omelet, and the egg omelet has 2 to 3 eggs, preferably organic eggs, some kale, some spinach. You can put some onions and mushrooms in it. You saute it in coconut oil, and you have a cup of coffee, or you have some green tea. You're getting your fats, you're getting your protein, you're getting some carbs in the spinach. And then lunch could be a chicken salad, all right? You can have some boiled chicken with broccoli. So the broccoli does have carbohydrates in it. So this isn't a low-carb diet, but it's more of a modified paleo, fermented diet, Mediterranean diet. We got a lot of fish. We got a lot of chicken. I let you have soy once a week, and it's got to be fermented soy, some fermented foods in it, some probiotics and enzymes. So it helps you to actually alleviate all of this impacted garbage that's in your intestinal linings, and you actually have a massive bowel movement after about 48 hours, and stuff comes out of you that you didn't know was even in you. And it's like deflating your tummy, it instantly. So you don't lose much weight the first 24 hours. It takes about 48 hours, and then you start to notice the weight starts coming off, and the whole bloated appearance that you have goes down dramatically. So Google that when you get bored. Lange diet plan. You can call Fortifeye Vitamins and ask them to email you a copy of it or send it to you in the mail. You can go to drmichaellange.com. Doctor's just DR, drmichaellange.com, and go to the Lange diet on there, and you can read all about it. I think it's on fortifeye.com also. You can go to the Lange diet on there. All right. Once again, the best thing I can tell you to do if you're not healthy and you're overweight is to lose weight. It helps your blood pressure, helps your blood sugar, helps your cholesterol, your triglycerides, your homocysteine, your C-reactive protein. It helps cognitive ability. It helps mobility. It helps arthritis. It helps macular degeneration. When you're fat and you're taking lots of eye vitamins, you have very healthy fat because all of that goes to your fat. The lutein and the zeaxanthin carotenoids have a specificity to fat. So you lose the fat and more goes to your retina, more goes to the brain. So if you're overweight, you got to lose weight. It's much easier said than done. I realize that. But if there's a will, there's a way. Follow the Lange diet plan, or if you follow some simple words of advice, breakfast is what? Protein and what? Vegetables. Supper is protein and vegetables. I didn't say fruit. I didn't say pasta. I didn't say bread. So if you're going to have that spaghetti and meatballs, you're going to have that roast beef po' boy, have that for lunch. Breakfast, protein and vegetables. supper, protein, and vegetables. Remember, your sugar's the highest first thing in the morning. That's why you do this, so your sugar won't be high. Now, if you're a diabetic and you're doing this, you got to be very careful. Many diabetics die because they're over-medicated and they pass out while they're driving the car and they get in an accident. So I always recommend all of my diabetics, especially if they're going on any type of diet, buy those glucose wafers, all right? They're sugar wafers, basically. You get them at the pharmacy. And you keep them in your purse. You keep them in your glove box. You keep it in your pocket. If you're diabetic, you're going down the highway, and all of a sudden you start to feel lightheaded. Your blood sugar might be 40, all right? And the next exit is 17 miles. Well, you don't have time. You won't last. So you have a little wafer, boom, you pop it in your mouth, the glucose wafer, and you're good to go. So remember that if you're diabetic, make sure you carry those glucose wafers in your pocket, or have apple juice in your car, orange juice, a Snickers bar, have something instantly available at all times. All right, we're going to open the phones. If you got a question, give me a call. You're listening to Ask the Doctor. We're broadcasting live from News Talk 820 here in Largo, Florida. Also, the Sky 97.3 FM up in Gainesville and a variety of other stations. Give me a call, 727-586-2820. That's 727-586-2820. All right. Let's see what time it is. I don't know. I lost the whole clock up on the thing there. It was 9:48. All right. Now, a lot of people will ask me, Dr. Lange, what supplements do you take? All right. I am, like I said, a certified nutritional specialist. I develop supplements. The only supplements that I develop that I put my name on are Fortifeye supplements, paleo simplified foods. So I brought today what I take. It's right here in front of you on Facebook if you're looking. I mean, first thing I do, I take 2 a day of something called Fortifeye Complete Advanced Nutrition. This is your multivitamin, eye vitamin, VeggieCap, Fruit Cap, enzymes. I take 2 a day. Most of you only have to take 1 a day. I think if you're over 180 pounds, you take 2 a day. So there's 60 in a bottle, not very expensive. I take 2 Fortifeye Focus a day. Most of you only need 1 a day. If you're over 200 pounds, you need 2 a day. If you race cars, you need 2 a day. Fortifeye Focus. I take 2 Fortifeye Super Omega. I take 3 Fortifeye Probiotics. I take 2 at night when I go to bed, 1 first time when I wake up in the morning. I have Fortifeye enzymes that must have fallen out in the car. I take Fortifeye enzymes 5 minutes before each meal. It just helps me break down the fats, the proteins, the carbohydrates. This is one I take. It's black currant seed oil. It is not made by Fortifeye. However, I just okayed a new formula that I'm manufacturing under the Fortifeye label. This only has 60 milligrams of GLA in it. So I take 2 a day, 3 a day sometimes. The new Fortifeye GLA black currant seed oil is going to have 140 milligrams of GLA in 1 gel cap. But this GLA is amazing for joint health, skin health, and dry eye. Do not use any other source than black currant seed oil. Evening primrose oil has GLA. It can interfere with your hormones, especially if you're female. Borage oil can be hepatotoxic. It can be dangerous for your internal organs, especially the liver and even kidneys. So be careful. Only black currant seed oil is the way you want to get your GLA. And then the Fortifeye Blue-Green Superfood. I do not take this daily because I try to eat 10 to 12 servings of organically grown fruits and vegetables a day. But let's face it, I work a lot, so I can't get that. On days I know I'm not getting that number, days I'm running behind, I take a scoop of the superfood and a scoop of the Fortifeye Super Protein, and that's a complete meal. And then I always take the Fortifeye Super Protein. I developed this purposely for me. I wanted a protein that came from grass-fed year-round cows, New Zealand cows. That's the best place to get your protein. And I wanted something, this is called Naked, that didn't have anything in it, any guar gum, lecithin, any binders or fillers at all, no flavoring, no natural flavoring, no stevia, nothing. So it's just pure protein. It's called Fortifeye Naked Super Protein. And the difference in this protein is this protein actually has a higher amino acid profile than almost every protein you'll buy in America. And the reason for this, a whey protein, you can get it 2 ways. You can get it from cheese or you can get it from casein. So we get this from the casein from an A2 cow from New Zealand, and that makes the amino acid profile higher and actually the protein a little bit higher. The only drawback is it makes it not mix in water quite as well. So if you blend it with the blender, you have no problems. If you put this in a shaker, it's going to be clumpy. So the naked one, if you put it in a shaker, it's going to be a little clumpy. But the amino acid profile, if I gave you the amino acid profile, it's going to be much higher than what you can buy over the counter at any of those stores. And most of those proteins are actually made in China. So that's Fortifeye Super Naked Protein. You can use it pre-workout and post-workout. You could use it as a meal replacement if you put some fruits and vegetables and blend it all together. But post-recovery, a lot of you guys work out. A lot of bodybuilders listen to the show. And, I mean, the geriatric population should be doing this also. After you go for a walk, after you go for a bike ride, after you play 18 holes of golf, tennis, pickleball, whatever you're doing, especially pumping iron in the gym, you got to have a good protein shake right after working out. Not a vegetable protein, not pea protein, not rice protein. Those are incomplete proteins. Whey protein is the fastest acting protein. Whey protein concentrate is better than an isolate. Isolate has higher protein, but it's unnatural, it's acid washed, and it doesn't have any fat in it. Remember, fat is good for you if it's the right type of fat. That's where the immunoglobulins are. That's why it stimulates your immune system. So right after you work out, you take a scoop of this. You take A2 chocolate milk, all right, 2 cups. You take a wedge of watermelon, all right, and you blend it all together. A scoop of whey protein, New Zealand Fortifeye Super Whey Protein, 2 cups of chocolate milk, and a big wedge of watermelon. You blend it all together. You also pop a Fortifeye Focus because it helps endurance, helps muscle recovery. Muscle recovery. I got to tell you, it's almost anabolic as good as it works. You'll notice a difference right after you go to the gym. It's got to be within 30 minutes. Don't drink it after 30 minutes. If you're going to drink it at protein after 30 minutes, don't use the chocolate milk. Don't use the watermelon. Use white milk or almond milk or coconut milk and put some blueberries or bananas in it. Low glycemic index if it's past 30 minutes. And then after you do that, 1 hour after your protein shake, you got to have a high protein meal. So have some baked chicken, some fish, some steak, and maybe some vegetables. And that's going to give you all the protein you need post-recovery. All right. We're going to open the phone lines. I know we had a couple of people waiting on hold, but I had to get some stuff off my chest. Phone lines are open. 727-586-2820. That's 727-586-2820. Wow. Looks like Mom and Dad are watching me on Facebook. Ha ha. Hey, Dad, hope you're feeling better. Was just talking about you. Hey, Mom. Take care of Dad. A lot of you watch me on Facebook. If you're watching right now, go ahead and press like, and I'll look at it after the show to see how many of you. We've got people from Australia. We got people from Sweden. We've got people from Louisiana, JC in Louisiana. The gang from New Orleans watches. A lot of people from all over the country watch this show, believe it or not, so it's kind of cool. And then you can go to Ocular Health channel on YouTube if you want to watch any of these. About 2 days afterwards, we post them on there. So go to YouTube, go to Ocular Health. That's a channel on YouTube. Subscribe. That's easy to do. Just press the button and you subscribe. And then you can watch all of these videos anytime you want. Or you can watch some of the Lange Racing videos if you really want to see some cool stuff. Now, remember, I will not be here next week. September 15th is my birthday, and I am going to be racing in Miami regardless, all right? So, Mom and Dad, you're going to have to be without me. I'm going to Miami Homestead. I'm racing in a big race there, and I'll only be going one day, though. New Orleans was going to be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. New Orleans is just Saturday. It's a big race, and that's a fast track. I got to tell you, you hit that outer bank turn. I'm going 160 miles an hour when I hit the turn, and then you got 2,000 pounds of downforce, and then your speed increases. I guess it's the thrill of the potential blowout at 180 miles an hour that really releases that adrenaline. Your right rear tire, you run that risk. I mean, I really should reduce the downforce on the car when you go to Daytona or Miami Homestead. Remember, my car is a true road car. It's not a NASCAR stock car, so it has a lot of downforce, and maybe that's not the best thing in the world when you're going in these high bank turns. All right. We probably have time for one call. Yeah, we got time for a quick call. 727-586-2820. 727-586-2820. Remember, a lot of you always have questions. You can go to any of the websites. There's a section, Ask the Doctor, on there. Comes right to my email. Or heck, I'll give you my personal email address. It's idude92@iCloud. idude92@iCloud. So idude is EYEDUDE 92@iCloud. Also, for those of you out there, email me and let me know how I can get a hoist to lower Dad down in the pool. We got to go swimming, all right? And if you know a good way to bathe him, I think you can get a little guy that we hook up to the faucet, and then it gives hot water, and then I can hose him down outside. Like I said, that'll be a sight. I could do a video of that. Dad might not like that, though. All right. Before we end here, I just want to say, how important is a routine eye examination? And I haven't talked about this in a long time. You know, it's all about prevention, and the key is early detection. When you go to your local optometrist or your local ophthalmologist, either one of them, they all have a minimum of 8 years of school. You got to have your eyes dilated, because not only were we looking for the first signs of eye diseases, we're certainly looking for the first signs of cataracts, macular degeneration, glaucoma. We're looking for retinal tears, retinal holes, and retinal detachments. But even maybe more importantly than that, some of the first signs of high blood pressure that's not controlled, diabetes that's out of control, atherosclerosis, elevated cholesterol, inflammation, thyroid problems, even collagen vascular disease like rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, sarcoid. These things can show up actually in the eye. So remember, the key is early detection. Oftentimes, we're detecting things that the primary care physician had no idea the patient had, making the appropriate referral and potentially saving the patient's life. Here's an example. Oftentimes, we'll have patients come in with a chronic type of uveitis or iritis. That's inflammation in the eye. And then that's a telltale sign that usually either A, they've had some trauma to that eye, or B, they have some sort of inflammatory disease process going on, like rheumatoid arthritis, Reiter's syndrome, ankylosing spondylopathy. We do the appropriate tests, and then we make the appropriate referral, and it can help you out. So see your eye doctor. It could be not only vision-saving, it could be life-saving. With that, I'm out of here. Have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. God bless you. I won't see you next week, but I will be live the next week. Have a great day.
Doctor, my eyes, they cannot see the sky. Is this the price for having learned how not to cry?